Okay, update time. Well, I've got a week to go till I'm out of here. I've just been playing around with the seats. That one's fully mounted, you can see there. I welded some mounts on, bolts through. I just haven't put a bolt through this side yet. I've just mounted the shifter there, hanging off the dash. It's actually, I wanted to keep as much sort of room here for passengers and stuff. So it looks like it'll work well there. I fed the cable down through. It's the world's longest cable. And it comes right back to there. Oops, what did I just drop? I don't know. Anyway, today I'm doing the exhaust. So I've just set the heads on there and the headers, and I want to get it all tacked up. So climb in. I went and got these two pieces yesterday. Went and got Paul from Barclay Auto to just set them up to go from 2.5 to 3 inch. And I cut them on a bit of an angle, so that's just to kick it out towards kind of where I need it. We've got that mandrel bend there, I've got this piece, got a few more bits here. So basically the old exhaust, just like that. Yeah, I've just got to make that meet up and make it hang out there. So I'm just going to do two simple 3-inch exhausts out to the side. I was going to change it to 4, but might as well keep them guessing and just leave it at 3 like the old V6. Yeah, so the one on the other side, just got to keep it away from that air tank as much as possible. Right, it should be very simple once I get it all tacked up. I've got a hanger there, and I've got to weld the hanger back on there. Should be reasonably simple. So I'll start cleaning up all the bits and get started. First step is to tack these on, so I just ground them just to clean them up. Just get them at the right angle, tack them on, and then work from there. Go. It's cheap to fill. So the reason I'm filling this up is because I've got this fella here. It's a little weld on fuel pump ring. So that's going to go there. And I want to make sure all the fuel vapors and stuff are out of it before I go welding it. So I've already rinsed it out with soapy water once, about a week ago. I'll fill it right up again until it's spewing out, and then go back and cut the hole and weld that ring on the top. do too bad. Check it out, they've got no holes. Looks alright, but we'll see. And I'm alive, so that's good. Alright, so I reckon that's all major work that's getting done in this shed. Got to be out in a couple of days. So I'll put it there ready to load on the trailer. I'll try and do a little bit more the next couple of nights. But there it is there. I might air it out just so it looks a bit cooler. Why not? There we go. So that's where it's parked for a couple of days to load her up, and then yeah, get a few engine bits and get her back together. Alright, deadline's getting closer and I've still got shitloads to do. I went and saw the engine machinist today about balancing the stuff. He reckons it'll be done by this week, so that means I can throw the engine together. And then once that gets together and in the car, then the wiring and everything should be relatively quick. I went and bought all the fittings for the fuel lines today. I've got my injectors delivered today, some 875cc Siemens injectors. This tunnel ram that I bought, I honestly don't know how the car would have run beforehand with it, so I've had to go through everything. Every little hole was blocked up with RTV. The linkages were all wrong, so it wasn't getting full throttle. Now it gets full throttle. There was no rubber gaskets under here, it was just silicon, so I've got all them. They'd been tightened up, had to file all under here to get that to sit flat. The rails that were on it, see how these injectors, I'll just show you here. I'll pull one out. Alright, so these injectors, they sit straight up and down. The rails that they had on it with these dodgy brackets, the injectors are on an angle like a standard manifold. So I don't know how those O-rings were ever sealing. If it wasn't leaking, then I'll eat my hat. So anyway, I've got the right rails for it now. I've just had to make all custom brackets. So these are the brackets that came with it, but they must use a really short injector, so they're not going to work with the injectors I've got. So I just made 6 of them. They're over here. I just painted them, so they're just drying at the minute. So once they dry, I can get all the injectors in, get that sort of sorted. I've got another fitting on the go that should be here tomorrow, so I can mount the regulator off the end of one of the rails. So that should be pretty much ready to bolt on once I get the engine together. So I'm just trying to get all this sort of stuff buttoned up. What else? So I've been out working in the dirt here in Quinny at my block. Yeah, I'll yeah, once I get these engine bits, I'll get that all together, and that's going to be a huge step. I've got the converter, I've got the transmission, that can all go together. Then I can get it in there, start making hoses, a radiator and that sort of thing, and get it going. So stay tuned. Okay, welcome back to Tastuned state-of-the-art engine building facility. Hopefully I got all the bits to throw the engine together today. It's been a mission waiting for engine balancing and all the parts and stuff to come in, but fingers crossed I got everything to put it together. I just don't know about the how I'm going to go about getting the valve springs in yet. Haven't got a tool for that, but see what I can come up with. So just clean the engine block, got it looking pretty decent. Here's the rods and pistons that I just got back from balancing, bearings to suit. So basically I'll start piecing it all back together and hopefully it goes to plan. I've got the apprentice on the job, so I'll teach her a thing or two. Yeah, so I'll just start getting the bits now and there we go. Good. Beautiful. Alright, so the crank and rods and pistons are in. We'll put the cam in next. So there's all the, they're just like the cheap scat forged rods with the ARP bolts. And then a Summit Pro forged piston with a mini dome and the valve reliefs. So it's got like a 3cc dome in it. And yeah, so I'm going to throw it together as it is now with the stock heads, and then down the track I've got another set of heads. I might mill a little bit off them, get a bit more compression and see how that goes, but I'll see how it goes for now. But yeah, I'll throw the cam in now and I'll start putting the head studs and that sort of thing in, timing gear, get stuck into it. Short blocks almost together. Got lifters, cam in there. This is all torqued perfectly, of course. Click. Wheel pumps on. Yeah, timing gear's on, oil pump's on. I think that's all right. I just got to put the pickup and then windage tray on, but the windage tray is slightly wrong for that sump, so I just got to trim a little bit out before that goes on. You can see there, ported out the pump a little bit. Heap on that side and on the inlet. It's all looking good. Alright, here we go. Finally get to put this together. I put the new springs in the head the other day. New valve stem seals, 660 hour springs. All that's all been cleaned up. So basically I'm going to put the heads on, torque them on, put the manifold on. Actually might leave the manifold off because I've got to get the engine in the Slug. So it's got to go in here and sort of across that way, which is going to be a bit tricky. I can't really, I can possibly get the engine crane in on an angle. I don't know how far it's going to reach. I really don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but if I leave the manifold off, then it might make it just that little bit easier. Once it goes in there, then I'm going to put the transmission on it. I think it's just going to be too hard to do all in one thing. So first things first, get this engine together, buttoned up. Alright guys, so here's the current struggle. I've got Slug here. There's some, at the minute the ground is relatively solid there, it doesn't look too bad. So I've got to get an engine in here. It is currently on engine stand in here. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and maybe hook off one of them things up there. with the block and tackle, lift it up, transfer it to that thing, or maybe even just straight onto that one. I don't know if I can do it. Then try and roll that on the dirt, on this stuff a little bit, and position it and get it in under the slug there, which it's not even quite high enough. I'm gonna have to try and jack that up or something to get the wheels under it. Then I've got to swing it far enough to get it in there. I don't even know whether that's possible yet with that. Fuck, it's gonna be a mission, but oh, sorry, say it, don't spray it. Yeah. Anyway, it'll be an adventure. So I've just had to hook up Slug and tow it out of there. I'm going to try and tow it a little bit further back, then roll it in here somewhere, and then see how I go about this. It's going to be hard trying to roll that engine over that, but and by yourself too. But it's a bit of a challenge, and who knows, I might get lucky. All right, update time. It's not going to happen. That's as high as that one can go. I just measured, even if I strapped it really tight to the top, it still can't lift it high enough to get over the side here. And obviously I can't go any other way. So next plan of attack is to maybe try and get it onto here somehow, and then just be able to pull the camping setup out of the back of the van and put the engine in the back of the van, tow it out to Ricky's shop, Regal Science. And he's got another engine hoist, which is probably a little bit better out there. Concrete floors, like, and a few tools and welder and that sort of stuff. So get stuck into it there. One thing I've discovered, okay, so when I set up the engine mounts, I bolted those mounts on there, and then welded these, and I put them in the further, like, see how there's spots you can put the mounts, like there or there. So I put it further back so that like, it was just the easiest way. They lined up with some brackets and stuff that were on there. Since found out I'm gonna have to change one side, because I went to mock this up and check that out, it hits on there. So that mount's gonna have to go across to that one. I'm gonna have to cut and modify all them. But I want to get it in, transmission mounted, and that all together so it's in the right spot, and then I can start moving that stuff and keep it all square and in the same spot and stuff. So it's really a bit of a mission, but it is what it is. Alright, so that was a bit of a mission, but the engine, transmission and stuff are in there. So hopefully that means I can load the Slug up tomorrow, take it out to Ricky's, and yeah, get the engine in there. Hopefully. So I've also got to get a rego check on the trailer tomorrow. And yeah, I've got a lot going on. I'd planned to get lots done these holidays, but having the kids with me all holidays and trying to do the right thing by them and take them away and do fun stuff, it's just made nothing happen in the car. But anyway, I'm on the right track now. No pressure. It's in there. Thank God. So now I've got to put that rear cover on, transmission in, pipes on, and then start laying out this wiring, because I know where shit can go. But oh, that's good.